One of our top stories. I'm fascinated by this story. In New West Valley, Newfoundland, people are calling it a miracle. They're calling these guys the Lucky Seven. 7 fishermen are now safely back on shore after being lost at sea for nearly 2 days on a life raft in the Atlantic Ocean. Here with more is the city's mayor, Mayor Michael Tiller. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Lindsey.
Oh my gosh, and it is certainly a good morning. How's everybody feeling today?
Elated.
Yeah.
Jubilant, excited. And still in disbelief that it happened to be as positive outcome as it was. I mean, to get 7 of our boys back on dry land, it's nothing short of a miracle.
So, Mayor, walk us through, take us back to what happened here. How did everybody first learn that there was a problem?
I guess when they couldn't communicate with the boat, they figured it may have been some communication error. You know, things happen when you're out to sea. But when she was overdue at the wharf in Valleyfield, well, then I guess the actual, you know, we got to find out where our boys are. So, you know, once they were late at the wharf at Valleyfield in New West Valley, then of course, you know, that's when the search started.
So then search and rescue gets activated, and then what happens from there?
Well, besides the search and rescue, you know, we had the Coast Guard, we had the 9-wing cormorant at the Gander, and we also had local fishermen, the Coast Guard Auxiliary, who all banded together to go find the boys.
And how were they ultimately found?
They kept their cool. They were really, really, really smart. They used their training. They knew that with the fog, their flares weren't being seen, so they were well trained and kept their cool to keep a flare so that when the fog lifted, they had something to signal the Coast Guard with. So as soon as the fog lifted, the skipper of the boat, Eugene, used the last flare, and by the grace of God, it was seen. And shortly after that, they were being hoisted aboard the helicopter.
Mayor, that was their last flare?
It was their last flare. Yeah, they had used. It was a really, really thick fog bank, so they had used some, and they quickly realized that no matter what they used in this fog, it wasn't going to be seen. So they made sure to keep one of those flares for when the fog lifted. I mean, eventually they knew it would, but when it did, they were found.
So they were out there for 2 days in this life raft, right?
Yeah.
So what did they do for food and water?
Apparently, and I only found this out, there's little sugar cubes and little water packets that are in these life rafts. And, you know, they had the wherewithal that as soon as they got into the life raft, again, the captain, he started to ration it out so that, you know, he had rationed out a 10-day supply. So, you know, he knew they were safe. He knew that they would eventually be found, but he also wanted to make sure that the provisions would last for as long as it possibly could.
It's one thing to be physically well. It's another thing to make sure that you're calm. What have they been telling you about how they managed to keep calm that whole time?
It had to be, you know, training had to kick in. Mm-hmm. It had to, you know, when they do their MED courses and whatnot. You know, 5 of them got their immersion suits on and were able to get off the vessel. 2 more who couldn't get their suits on, of course, were a little bit leery of jumping into the cold Atlantic Ocean, as you may well expect. But they were coaxed off by the rest of the crew. They were told, you know, we got you. We'll make sure that you get back aboard the life raft. And sure enough, the 2 of them jumped in, and the boys got them, swam out and got them, brought them back into the life raft. And it's amazing. It's something that if you had watched the movie, you would have said, well, it's a wonderful movie, but, you know, this can't happen in real life. But it did, and it is nothing short of a miracle. It
really is absolutely incredible. Mayor Tiller, thanks for joining us this morning. We wish everybody well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Kelsey, unbelievable. Isn't that an unbelievable story?
The entire thing, Lindsey.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.